What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dying Laughing. I'm your host, Jessimae. We're here. This is another road show. I'm technically on the road, not in the studio, recording to you from a yard. So you will hear ambient noises. Hopefully I don't get crapped on by a bird. That would be a real problem. And it would fall right into today's episode's theme, which is struggle. It's all about the struggle in life, all types of struggle, not just grief struggle, like everyday struggle. Because my latest struggle is when I walk into the local coffee shop here, order my beverage, and they say Jessimae. I'm not even going to correct them at that point. I feel like a really fancy rapper. So is that a struggle? I don't know. But this episode is all about struggle. And I'm excited to be here. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the episodes. Make sure you share them with your friends. Make sure you call us. You can call into the pod and leave a question or suggestion. 513-916-0930 is the number. You can also email us. Sometimes I ask questions at the end of the podcast to prompt you to send me an email. Jessimae Peluso comedy @gmail.com. I have to use my hands because I'm Sicilian. Also, if you want to see me live, please come see me live. That is a way to meet and greet me and see what else I do outside of podcasting. I have a few shows coming up on the East Coast. There's a show in Stamford, Connecticut, 9/11, New York City, 9/12. I'll be in New Jersey on 9/13. All those dates are on my website, jessimae.com, and a portion of all ticket sales, any way you support me, go towards two charities that are really near and dear to my heart. The Hilarity for Charity with Seth Rogen, which is an amazing foundation that helps families dealing with the disease and raises money to give as grants to families that have become caregivers. So it's an amazing foundation. And also Alzheimer's Association of SoCal chapter of Southern California. Hey, come see me live. I'll also be with Seth Rogen. I can't really release the details yet, but that'll be in New York City in October sometime. So come back and check me out. Go online, check out tickets, buy them, come see me live. Okay, Grief Gang, we're back. So I asked questions on Instagram of the fans what they were currently struggling with. So we're going to answer some of those. And I thought we were going to get things like, work is stressful or I can't stop watching Love Island. But instead I got responses that warranted us having a full episode about it. In the middle of us doing the stages of grief, obviously struggle is wrapped up in all of that. So we're taking a little sideline here and getting specifically into struggle. I feel like struggle is the sauce of life. I've discussed this before, and it's probably an unpopular opinion, but I feel like it's rich and sometimes makes you stronger, and sometimes it's a little too spicy, and you don't want as much on your plate. But regardless of what goes on, you can always count on struggle being in your life. And sometimes, let's be real, it can add some flavor. Struggle is a thing that adds flavor to your life. That's the unpopular opinion. And I struggled with whether to record this episode before or after my doctor's appointment. Not anything too dramatic. I'm going to the dermatologist to have a chemical peel. I get those once in a while because, full disclosure, I have struggled with skin and acne and skin issues my entire life. And I realize on the grand scheme of things, or I guess when you look at the bigger part of life, skin issues aren't really that horrible. But if you're somebody who suffers greatly with skin issues, it keeps you in the house, makes you not want to go outside, makes you want to cancel dates, makes you very insecure, and makes you feel like you're less than. I struggled with that my whole life, and I got that from my dad. Thanks, Dad. Thanks for leaving me that. The hereditary genes. That's always fun. I got chimples and farts from Dad. Thank you so much. Why am I single? Skin is not the biggest issue on the spectrum of life, but I was handed that as one of the crosses that I bear. And I have gone to dermatologists my entire life, and so I struggled with wanting to do this podcast before or after the episode. I thought it would be funny to do it, after that appointment. I thought it'd be funny to do it after that appointment and just have my skin be like beet red and bloody for you guys, because then I could be a physical manifestation of what struggling looks like. And at the cost of me just burning down layers of my skin so that I can feel pretty. That's the real struggle. Your face, your skin is what people see when they meet you, and it signifies health, and it also is, I feel, the first thing that kids make fun of when you're in high school. I remember people used to make fun of me all the time, and there's this one time I felt so embarrassed at my high school graduation party at my house. My back broke out. I had back knee, and it was bad. But I was trying to be confident in my skin. My mom was like, your skin does not define you. So I was like, fine. So I wore a dress, and my back knee's all out for everyone to see. This is me. Take me in all my glory. And I remember standing there, and one of my high school friends that I had invited to the party was standing behind me, and he said, ew, in reference to my back knee. And I was like, you're not wrong. Rude. You're not wrong. But it's so funny that that memory stuck in my head, that memory stayed in my head. And so, yes, I struggle with my skin. I decided to do this beforehand to save you guys, to save you from that. But everyone struggles. Charlize Theron struggles. We have Instagram. We see the clips. She's talking about how it's a struggle in relationships. Look, if Charlize Theron is struggling, if Charlize Aeon Flux Theron is struggling, if Charlize even was looking good when I played Eileen Wuornos in Monster is struggling, if Charlize from South Africa, Perfect Skin, is struggling, what the chance do I have is none. I have no chance. None of us have a chance. She's one of the most beautiful women there is. She gorgeous. We ain't got no chance. I remember when Beyonce got cheated on by Jay-Z. And people were like, if Beyonce's getting cheated on, what chance do we have? So I think all walks of life, all types of people experience struggle. And there are levels to it. Like I said in the beginning, there are levels. Obviously, pimples aren't as important as civil unrest. Okay? There's a wide spectrum to all of this. But all I'm saying is if Charlize Theron is having trouble with love, then I'm going to die alone with dogs. I'm going to die alone with dogs. That might just be where I'm at. And I'm okay. And that's going to be my struggle. You know, after my mom passed away, every little thing felt like a huge struggle. Paying bills, cooking dinner, even remembering what day it was. And I had full-blown grief brain. I didn't even know that was a thing. And that's going to be a whole episode. But I had full-blown foggy, I don't know which way, which end is up. And once I put my dog food in the microwave, and that sounds like something you would do. I didn't need to heat up my dog's food. In a metal bowl. I almost set my house on fire. And Chaplain's looking at me like, what is this woman doing? First of all, wow, fancy, we're getting a hot meal. Second of all, she doesn't understand how life works right now. And that's what it was like. Like there was just day-to-day struggle and fogginess that I had to deal with. And it feels like we all wear it and don't show it because we feel shame and feeling like we're weak by expressing that we're struggling. You know, it's that whole adage of how you doing today? And we say, I'm fine. That's just the common way of communicating with one another. How are you? Oh, I'm okay. I'm good. None of us are good. We're all struggling. We're all suffering in some way. And the weirdest part about grief struggles is the random freedom you feel sometimes. Like after my mom died, I thought, well, at least I don't have to worry about buying her a Christmas gift anymore. And that's a strange thought to have. That was just one less struggle. I'm out here trying to lessen the load. I'm trying to lighten it up a little bit. Okay, mom's gone. Well, I get a little more money in my pocket. I guess I can go get myself something extra from Marshall's. But we all do it. That's what struggle does. It puts you in these sort of mental gymnastics where nothing makes sense. But it's all very real. You can almost see it on everyone's face now. And now, like when you realize that, when you realize that everyone has their own struggle, when you watch them say how good everything is, you just to yourself, you're like, oh, you're lying. It's not great. It's not so good. We're all struggling. Okay. That's why, sometimes it's nice to have a day drink with your sister and just not even feel the need to justify it. Oh, I have an audience member. My sister just sat down, everybody. She's here. I feel like dating is a big struggle for everyone. I feel like grief is a big struggle for everyone. There's a lot of comments around like Halle Berry. They say that Halle Berry can't keep a man. Maybe she doesn't want to keep a man. Maybe she gets bored with the men she meets. And maybe that's just how deep of a struggle it is for a woman in her place who's beautiful, talented, independent, probably independent, just so gorgeous. We automatically put it on the woman. So gotta be something wrong with her. Really? Really? Or is it maybe it takes a certain type of man to be able to hang on to a Halle Berry? Can't imagine that is something that is easy to grip onto. It takes a certain type of fella to be able to handle all that glory and that gorgeousness. I don't even know if there is a woman who could handle it. And that's probably the struggle for Halle Berry. She probably wishes that there was just a woman that could handle her. Probably would be easier, but I don't know. I had this conversation with my sister. 2 women sounds like a struggle that I'm not willing to have. I know myself, and if there were 2 of me in the sitch, yikes. I'm leaving myself at that point. I'm packing my bags on me, and I'm out the door before I even get in. Well, we have a lot of questions from the fans, responses to the prompt I put up on my IG where I asked what everyone was struggling with. And people came in light, people came in hard, people came in with serious stuff and some ridiculous stuff. Scuba Steve. We know Scuba Steve from Peru, Indiana. He put my name on a bench somewhere. I still haven't seen it. Can't wait to sit on myself. But Scuba Steve said, fucking cancer. Kicking it off hot. I don't know that I have a lot of advice for that other than that feels like a game that is going to be more mental than anything. Obviously, your body takes a physical hit. But I feel like if you can strengthen your mental resolve during that time, at least it could give you some padding. It can give you some emotional padding. I highly recommend some form of a cannabis sitch. Isn't that great? Like, that's the one benefit of cancer. Hey, now no one's going to judge you. The stigma's been lifted a little bit and lightened because of how things are changing on a federal level. But now that you have cancer, I feel like you should be given cannabis all the time. I feel like you should get free weed. You should get free weed all the time if you have cancer. I know you, Scuba Steve. You're a tough fella. You're from Indiana. That's a tough part of the country. Those are where salt of the earth type of people live. So I will tell you to seek out some really good cannabis, seek out some really good meditation, some exercise, and honestly, have good times with your friends. Try to find those little nuggets in life. They're there, and it probably feels like they're not, but I guarantee you they are. And if you get high, you'll find them a lot more. I suggest getting high and going to a Wegmans. That's a lot of fun. Just Mind Your Business says co-parenting and cohabitating with a woman I still very much am in love with, which I don't know why that's a struggle. Maybe she doesn't love you. And that would be so hard to be in a home with someone who you have to co-parent with where the love is gone. And as someone who grew up in what we classify as a broken home, although it didn't feel broken, we had like 6 homes. So I felt rich. We always felt loved. I will tell you that kids are very smart and they're very intuitive. So if the 2 of you were doing this to protect your children from something, the kids probably knew before you did that something was wrong. They're so smart. And so if you're worried about saving them, I think the worst thing you could do is try to remain in this toxic place and pretend that you 2 aren't falling apart. So maybe build a divorced dad shack in the back. Can we compromise there? If you guys are going to live under the same roof, you might as well have like a smaller roof on the same property. Can you imagine if you build like one of those small tiny houses, which I have been begging my brother-in-law to put in the backyard? I said, how hard is it to build one of these things? Can I get an auntie shed with a horse? Why is that too much to ask? I just want a horse. That's my real struggle. My brother-in-law won't give me a horse. Oh, he gives my sister jet skis. She's got jet skis. She's got Sea-Doos. She's got, what else do you have? She has a couple houses, a couple purebred dogs. I can't get one horse. Where's Chaplin? Is he gone?
He's right here, gonna jump on my lap.
Chaplin! Chicken!
Come on.
We lost Chicken. Chicken! We lost, oh, here he is. She can keep an eye on 2 kids. One Chihuahua enters the chat. She's like, what dog?
You lost Elliot when
I did lose Elliot once. Well, there was a really cute praying mantis that flew around.
he was a baby.
He was 2 years old, and they haven't let me live it down.
Less than 2.
The point is, I want a horse in the backyard, and apparently I'm not good enough for it. So I would suggest, if you're cohabitating with somebody who you're not in love with, maybe do some deep work on yourself. Maybe do a little deep work. Maybe ask yourself why this thing has fallen apart. We always want to cast blame. I think the first place we can go in is in. The first place we can go to is in and see where there are parts of you that may have contributed to the downfall of your relationship. It's so much easier, and usually the route we take first is pointing our finger across the pond. Well, it takes 2 to tango, and it sounds like a frustrating place to be. I might be wrong, but I figure that's why you've messaged is because you're under the roof with the woman that you love who maybe no longer loves you. So maybe you just need to love yourself a little bit more. Get in that dad shack in the backyard. Let me know how it goes. Someone said, this is Irish 13 fighter. Every day I have to find the strength to not hang myself. I'm over this life. That's heavy. That's very, very heavy because people struggle with that. Suicide is a huge issue. And I think obviously after COVID and everything, people being forced in and not having as much of an outlet with their community and their friends made people go inwards in a dark place. And a lot of people struggle with that. And, you know, my father suffered from depression. He needed medication for it. We witnessed it as a kid. As children, we knew that there was something off with Dad. Not in any way where I ever felt like he was suicidal, but then again, maybe they protected us from that. And we were fortunate enough to have him around for a very long time, and he passed from other issues. A lot of you know he had a form of dementia. And, you know, I've always been a very positive person. Maybe sometimes too positive. Maybe you could say that I grew up wearing rose-colored glasses. But it's kept me afloat during really dark times. It's kept me maintaining a perspective and an outlook that has made me see gifts and miracles and look for the brighter side of things. That's not to say I haven't gone into my own dark places. For sure, I've experienced levels of depression when I lost my parents and going through breakups and all of those situations that become so compounding. But I do know that you just have to get to the next minute and the next moment and the next day. I think we sometimes overwhelm ourselves with life and think way far into the future. And sometimes we dwell too much in the past. And we spend our lives in these realms that aren't here. The future isn't here yet. The past is gone. And as hard as it is to stay in the moment in this modern world, really being there as much as you can is so joyful. That's why kids are so happy. They are moment to moment. They are just right there. They're present. And that's why they frustrate adults so much. Because adults in this adult world, in this modern world, we have bills to pay and we have things to think about. And we're getting pulled from our responsibilities by trying to be present with a child. And so it's like this conundrum between two people who are essentially the same person living in different parts of their life. Because we never lose our inner child. Our inner child is always right there. And I would say my word of advice would be to find and play with your inner child a little bit. Children are so challenging. I've spent a lot of time with my niece and nephew being up here for as long as I have. And I have tried to rise to the challenge of being in the moment with them, being focused in the moment with them. And it has really provided me with this perspective of what happens tomorrow doesn't matter right now. I'm not thinking about that. I have to focus on them. They need my attention, and they want to know weird things. They want to know how to make noises with blades of grass, and they want to look at a praying mantis and talk about it and play and play imagination games. How much fun. And we lose all that as adults. And I know you're struggling with something really real, but I would say maybe try and find a way to do something you really loved as a kid. Whatever it is, ride a bike, paint, dance in your room, dance to a song, hang out with your friends, go roll in the grass. Remember being a kid and just rolling in the grass and looking up at the clouds and imagining faces in the clouds? I'm not saying this is going to cure you. I'm not trying to cure you, but I hope that you can find the little miracles in life for yourself. And also, there are hotlines and resources for you, and I can put those in the show notes as well. I think 988 is the suicide prevention hotline. I could be wrong, but I think that is. But if not, we'll put it right here for you, anyone else struggling. Let's see what else we got. Single Dad says, wait, what am I not struggling with? Life, school, relationships in these times? He said, he made a fart noise. See? We're all struggling, and sometimes it's compounded life, just life. We're struggling with life, which covers everything. But if you have children, he's a single dad. That's also a vibe. You know, someone really smart once told me that your greatest asset becomes your biggest liability. But that also means your biggest liability becomes your greatest asset. I say that because you're a single dad, and you probably think it's your biggest liability because it provides your life with a lot of struggle. But it's also your greatest asset. Single dad is a vibe. It's a vibe. If women, when they see a man walking with a dog or a kid, they're like, oh, he's cute. Oh, look, he's responsible. Nothing's hotter than a responsible man taking care of something other than himself. Other than himself. Oh my God, did you make lunches this morning? Hot. Very, very hot. You're living. We're loving it. We're loving it for you. Are you in plaid? Are you a single dad in plaid because fall is upon us? You're living. You don't even realize that you're a whole vibe. And we get caught up in our fucking struggles. And it's like one thing after another. As an adult, you're just always problem solving all day long. And then you add kids into the mix who want to know everything. Why? Who? When? They're just, it's like dementia patients. What happened? Why do you need all the details? Go play Roblox and leave me alone. Is that what they call it? Roblox? Roblox. I think what the single dad needs is a night out with other single dads. You guys should all switch the image on your phone, the screen thing, the wallpaper, to your kids or a dog, and just show it to other. If there's women around, like just make sure you have your screen open, and women will be like, "Oh my God, is that your dog? Is that your kid? What are their names? How old are they? Where do they go to school?" It opens up conversation. You just being you is a whole vibe, and you don't even know it. Look into it. Just start an Instagram page called Single Dad Hacks. It's probably already there, but do your own. Okay? JJ88WT says, I need more cowbell. Hell yeah. I've got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell. I couldn't agree more. That was one of the greatest episodes of Saturday Night Live. One of the greatest sketches. Sidonio36 says, trusting, it's very difficult to trust. Trust is a difficult thing. It requires relinquishing control. I think that's more of what the issue is you're letting go of control and being vulnerable with somebody else, someone who could hurt you. You probably have a history of being hurt, maybe abandonment in your past as a kid or somewhere in your life. Someone who was supposed to care for you didn't care for you, and now you have trust issues. And I think I can relate to that for sure. Where I find strength and where I try to deal with that is taking care of me, making sure I'm good, being my own biggest supporter and cheerleader, and doing things to make me feel strong, taking care of myself. All of that sounds really boring. But I think when you're dealing with trust, it reflects a lack of trust in yourself. So I think it requires you doing things that fortifies a certain respect of yourself. And I think the more you do things to learn how to respect yourself, you start to trust yourself. And when you start to trust yourself, you're not worried about other people letting you down as much. I actually was thinking about this on my walk this morning, thinking about how when people get in relationships, they put so much into the relationship that if the relationship were to not work anymore, they would fall apart. And I think many of us can lose ourselves in relationships. I think the most important thing is to be good on your own, to know you've got it, to know that you can handle anything, and to not put everything in somebody else's hands. And I think once you can trust yourself in different situations, you will be able to be more flowy in relationships. And also knowing that things fall apart. Relationships fall apart. And having a little reckless abandon with your heart, bringing a little bit of spontaneity to the situation when it comes to relationships, I think adds a little zest in life, especially if you have fortified your relationship with yourself. But this is an ongoing thing. Being an adult is an ongoing thing. Trust is a hard thing. And take it slow. Sidonio, what's the rush? You know, the best thing we have in life are the relationships that we have. And just trusting that the people love you. They got my back. There's a few people in my life I know they got my back. It's Chaplin, Bunny, my sister. I don't know about Carlin. Carlin would sell my soul for meats and cheeses. But you just need a few people that you can really count on. But the most important is for you to figure out how to count on yourself, Sidonio. Take it slow, man. Take it slow. Don't take it so seriously. Have some fun. I think you need to get together with a few of these people that have sent questions and concerns, and you guys need to start like a little trust fall together. Do a trust fall with a stranger at the grocery store, Sidonio. If it doesn't turn out well, please don't blame me, but that's what I would do. Let's see what else we got here. Galling Stim says, all women in general. Did something happen that I'm not aware of? Oh, all women? Well, guess what? I have the same issue with all men. I don't like generalizing. Why are we generalizing? All women are the issue? Or is it just a couple? Maybe it's the pattern of women. Maybe it's the type of women you've had in your life. I think if you come to the place where you start generalizing a gender, then it's a great point for you to look into yourself. And I'm not telling you you're the problem, but I do think that when you think there's something wrong with a whole group of people that you've experienced, the common denominator is you. And I'm not laughing, like I'm not trying to be condescending. I've had these conversations with myself. You literally have to sit down and go, oh, okay. I know I have a type. I don't trust it anymore. I'm going to guess that you've had relationships that haven't worked and you're like, screw women. I'm over it. I feel like men can't be like women in that instance where we're like, screw it. I'm just going to screw men. I'm going to go to women. I feel like men don't have like that much of an openness to be able to do that. And again, I wish I could. It's not for me. It's not for my life. But I wish you could too, Galling Stim. I wish you could just go ahead and if you really want to condemn all women, I wish you could just go and try a guy. Go try a guy then. At that point, if we're all so bad, go try a guy. Maybe it'd work out. Maybe it'd work out. All women aren't the problem. I do think there are a lot of issues in society. I do think that our cell phones have created a lot of the issues. I think this cricket is really trying to bone whatever other cricket he thinks is cute. Hey, cricket! Cricket! I'm trying to record a podcast, and you're really loud. Mr. Cricket. I think all crickets are the problem. I hope you guys can hear him because it's actually kind of a really cool sound. I don't think it's all women. I think it's an opportunity for you to look at who you've been dating and the type of person you've been dating. And that can really tell you a lot about yourself in areas where you may need a little extra effort, a little extra emotional conditioning. It really is all about your reaction to your life and your reaction to people in your life and how you process things and realizing and recognizing your own patterns. Once you do that, once you master yourself, which is an ongoing effort, once you put effort into that, everything else starts to flow a little bit easier. It's not that you won't struggle. It's not that you won't have struggles with women, but you'll start to recognize what those consistent struggles are. And once you can identify what those consistent struggles are, then you will have an indicator to a couple of your core issues. And it might just take you having some time with yourself to say, hey, what's going on with me instead of what's wrong with all women. I hope that helps you. I truly do. Let's see, a couple more here, a couple more struggles. Aventure. Half the fun is reading or trying to read your names. Thinking about my dad, I tend to not do so I don't break down, but I want to think about him. Think about him. Think about him. Even if you do break down. I think blocking the thought causes physiological issues. I think when we block our emotions, they get stuck in our body and our body speaks to us. That's why a lot of us have chronic pain. That's why a lot of us have sores and aches and colitis and other issues of the gut, headaches, migraines. I think a lot of our body issues come from our emotionally stunted way of existing. And a lot of the times it isn't a place to think or feel. And I get that. A lot of the times you have to be a mother of two and you don't have time to grieve. You don't have time to worry about your struggles. Your children are all that you need to worry about. And so you have to force yourself to carve out time or to create space to allow those emotions to come through. But if you're not wanting to think about your dad because you are trying to avoid being sad, I'm going to tell you that the sadness will show up in one way or another. And let that sadness show up. Let it be there. Sit with it for a little while. I know it might be a struggle to give some time and some space to it, but there is some relief on the other side of it. And it doesn't have to be an hour cry session. It doesn't even have to be a cry session. I think about my dad. Sometimes it's sad thoughts. Not necessarily sad thoughts. Sometimes it's nostalgic feeling and it makes me feel emotional and miss him in that pang of nostalgia. I feel that pang, but then it comes through and it passes through. Just like a fart. My dad would have laughed at that. But not all thoughts of my father make me sad. Not all thoughts of him are thoughts that make me want to cry. And I think that's the most beautiful thing. And maybe you'll find that too. You're avoiding thinking about him probably because you're preemptively guessing what it's going to be or what you're going to think about. But maybe you should just meditate on your dad for a little bit. Maybe that's the universe saying you need to feel it. And on the other side of it, there's going to be a little bit of emotional release and some freedom and some space for other things to exist. But tucking it down isn't a way to express it. You have to express it. Emotions need to be expressed. Look at children. They don't know or understand their emotional spectrum yet, and that's why a lot of them are so frustrated because they don't even understand what they're feeling and they're trying to get it out in the only way that they can with the minimal tools they've learned up to that point in their life. That's half of the battle with a kid, is unable to express the emotions that they're feeling, those new emotions. And you have this ability and these beautiful spectrum of emotions to feel as a adult. So feel them. There's honor in that. And I hope you think of some memories or are able to recall some things that maybe you had tucked away. That's the one thing that I realized going through grief and loss is when I would just let those moments flow through, I thought of things and recalled things I completely forgot about. So through the struggle of feeling those emotions, I was given these like little gifts, these memories I didn't even know were there. So I hope you experience that. Let's do a couple more. Single dad is back. The struggle of feeling like I don't deserve self-care and love. Now that's real right there. That's a real thing. That's something that a lot of people can relate to. That's a universal thing. Most people feel those two things, that they don't deserve love or deserve to be loved. And I can tell you, you do. You do. I hope you do. You know, if you're a dad taking care of your kids, it sounds like you deserve love. It probably doesn't feel like that because most of your life, if not all of it, is dedicated to taking care of these two young creatures. Gosh darn Tasmanian devils is what I'll call them. Damn near demons. Let's be honest. People who think their children are treasures, you're blind. You must have become blind. Because while they are cute, they are demonic and possessed by a demon that Satan won't even let into hell. And that's what you have to make school lunch for every day. Okay? And by the way, that demon will tell you that it hates you. I remember telling my mom that I hated her. Kids use that, man, and it hurts. My niece said that to me a couple times. I was like, Karina, take it back. You take it back right now. She's like, I didn't mean it. I was like, okay. Damn. Almost crushed my soul. But I do think a lot of us struggle with feeling love. You do deserve love. And you have to actively do it. It's something you have to actively take part in, is loving yourself. There's so many ways to do that. Sometimes it's just taking your car through a car wash. Ooh, I feel fancy. I'm going to go to the Sonic. I'm going to go through a car wash. That's how I love myself. I'm a Virgo. I like keeping everything clean. Get all the nooks and crannies. I don't like when they do the quick swipe. Like, now get in the little, come on now, get in the little crevasses. Clean up the crevasses, please. Shiny car? Woo! Ordering a sandwich. Doing a little something for yourself. Taking yourself out for a movie. Whining and dining yourself. Have you done this, single dad? Probably not, because you got kids. You know, maybe even just waking up and saying, I'm a good dad. Especially if you are. I don't know if you are. This is my rose-colored glasses guessing that you're the greatest dad in the world. Maybe that's what you need to hear. It's not about being the greatest dad in the world. It's about you creating a system and creating a routine around your health and your self-care. And involve your kids. You're going to have to. Involve it and make it non-negotiable. Make what you do for yourself non-negotiable. Make it a part of a disciplinary action that you're taking in order to start to feel the worth that you deserve to feel. And that will hopefully start to break this lie that you've been telling yourself, that you don't deserve care and love. That's a lie. You've been lied to. It's a scam. It's the biggest scam when we tell ourselves we don't deserve love or we believe that thought. That's crazy. Come on now. Get out there and get you some. TJ Maxx has probably got some fun stuff. Go to TJ Maxx. Go to TJ Maxx and Panera, single dad. Feel what it's like to be a lady in the world. Get out there and have some fun. Everyone's taking life a little too seriously. We're too much in our head. And this is coming from an overthinking Virgo. You have an overthinking Virgo telling you to get out of your head, get into your heart, get into your play space. That's how you peel back the layers of struggle. You reveal some fun. You start to have fun. You shake yourself out of that stressful tree and you fall down to the ground and you run around and play. That's my solution for everybody. I want you to all find some form of play. And if it's something you have to do with your own kids, then do it. Get down and dirty, get in the mud. Play the game they want you to play the hide and seek, do whatever it is. Because I do believe that uncovering the child within helps us not take the struggle so seriously. The struggle will always be there. It's about how you deal with it and how you face it. And I think if we try to integrate a little more fun into our way of dealing, it makes it a lot easier. This is just coming from one aunt to another, to the uncles out there, to the single dads, to the people struggling with wanting to go on every day, finding a reason to live. There are gifts. There are joys to be had, and those come at the cost of struggle. You've got to earn it. Life is meant to be lived, but you also have to earn the joyful moments. And the struggle is the sweet sauce of life. This is coming from someone who has experienced a lot of it. And I'm going to keep my glasses rose-colored till the day I die, babe. This is just the way I am. I'm going to go to Marshall's, and even though it's something my mom and I used to do and she's not around anymore, I'm going to go there, maybe a little Zooty Magooty, maybe I have a little wine in my Yeti. I don't know. My sister will be with me, and we'll still have a good time, even though mom's not around. We went through that struggle, and we deserve to have this day wine at Marshall's. Find that moment for yourself, whatever it is. Get through the struggle, and you're going to look back and realize that was the sweet part of life. Being in that pain, being in that discomfort. And then you're on the other side of it and you're in a sweeter place of joy. And that's where I hope all of you can get to. The sweeter place of joy on the other side of struggle. Thank you guys so much. Hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll catch you next week. Em, you want to come say goodbye? Come say goodbye. My sister's the head of the PTG. I don't want to brag. She's the head of the PTG. I keep telling her she's going to be the mayor of Syracuse. You want to say something?
Peace out, y'all.
Ah, look at that. Sweet and simple, guys. Bye. She says she'll have more next time.